Hey everyone, welcome back for video number 3 on the channel. Today we're playing a Nevenka Blotch Lyra Festival list. This deck has the dubious honour of being the first that I've showcased on here that I don't have a lot of reps with. So this is going to be a learning experience for me as well as you. Lyra Festival, the namesake of the deck. For those that don't know, if you control 3 characters, one with fleeting, one with anchored, one with asleep, you just win at the end of the day. So a fairly viable alternative win con. I just went through, figured I might get bored playing only the decks that I've put time into, so I've thrown this one together. And we'll go through a few of the cards. So always showcase the uniques first. We've got a Hathor, pretty straightforward. It was just kind of the best thing I had lying around. A 1-drop that can cycle cards from reserve. Because the rate's so poor from reserve, I don't really expect to be playing it out of there very often. I'm more hope to be taking advantage of the support ability, but having 1-drops in your deck is very important, and this takes us up to 4, so increases it by 33%. The second one, Lyra Cloth Dancer, quite potent with Nevenka Blotch because you get to roll quite a few dice. Haven't leaned into that quite as much as some other decks, but giving your opponent's cards fleeting can be quite effective at building a card advantage if they expect to be playing them out of reserve from the board. You get a free roll at the end of every turn, so it can be a way to catch people unaware. You can stack the triggers of this and Lyra Festival, so you roll a die first, give something fleeting that didn't have it, and once Lyra Festival checks, you can win the game. The other one is Hathor. This is just another way to give keywords to cards. Can target either your opponent's cards or your own. So that takes us up to 4 ways to give anything to anything, basically. Obviously, Sandman, Hypothermia, Twinkle Twinkle, all ways to give characters asleep. I'll be looking at how effective Hypothermia is against Twinkle Twinkle. Hypothermia just as a fun of one of in that rare slot for now. If it performs well, and I think it's actually worth the opportunity cost, probably go up on that one, because giving your opponents sleep when also giving your characters sleep when you want them around can be quite a big turnaround. The only things, actually there's a lot of things I'm concerned about. So sculpting the deck is quite important here. So we've got 2 Acapella Training that draw a card, 3 Croupiers that resupply at the worst, 3 Aloe Veras as well, and 3 Esmeraldas. So what is that? 3, 6, 12, 14 instances of card draw is a bit higher than I normally have because our card quality is a bit lower than the other decks that I've played. But basically we're just trying to, finesse our way to a Lyra Festival win. Sleight of Hand is a card that I'm not too sure about, with a lot of resupply in the deck, 6 to 9 copies depending on how lucky you are. You will have opportunities to send things back to your hand, but we'll keep an eye on how often that one stays in hand as well. Alright, that being said, every other choice in the deck is fairly straightforward, so let's get into game 1. See you there. Hey everyone, welcome back for game 1 of our Lyra Festival deck. Nevenka Blotch is the hero. Let's get into it. We've done the deck tech, you know what's going on. We'll see how it works. This is a new one for me. The other decks that I've showcased on the channel have all been ones that I've had a lot of experience with, whereas this one was only made a couple days ago. Alright, we're gonna keep Against Moona. So Cloth Cocoon will probably have some value. We'll keep one of either the Hatter or Ouroboros Croupier. The two Mage Dancers is probably too much. Would we rather draw cards or have access to Anchored when we need it? We're already going a little bit slower with this one, so let's compensate by keeping the Croupier. We'll get rid of the sleight of hand. We'll mark that off. We're on the play. Oh, go there. We'll play our Mage Dancer. Do we risk it for the biscuit? I don't think so. We just we take the gift as it's given and not risk it too much with that one. If we had a Martingale, yeah, probably, but you know, can't complain too much about not having a 3 of in a 40 card deck out of the top 6. Alright, we'll hold on to the festival here. I guess we're a little bit punished for not keeping the Hatter, because if we did, we might have been able to win with an early one. We'll keep the festival. Could get rid of the spindle, but I think that's actually not that important. If we're going to try and win with a festival, we don't actually care about getting rid of their creatures. So we'll get rid of that. Change our plans. Keylon Elemental. What have we got here? Put a card from hand in reserve. What do they choose? I want to play a Mowgli. That's alright. We'll trade 2 for 1 here. We had a small advantage early on. Draw an extra card. Get another Croupier. Okay. Nothing to be gained here by playing Nevenka and Blotch, except risking our biscuit. I suppose we could get an anchored, but a 1 in 6 chance. Alright, we'll go for it this time, for the content. And it's a 1. Oh, there you go. That's what we do when we play this hero, I guess. We'll fall behind there. Oh well. Like I said, not too experienced with this deck. Probably shouldn't have played it there. I'm sure more experienced Lyra players would not have done that. But I'm here to entertain. Okay, 5 mana. We can play our Hathor. We could play Hathor and Croupier. That would get us 6 mana in one side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I'd rather draw a card here though. And we get the draw. 2 Esmeraldas. Probably going to challenge with Keelan Elemental on that side. Would have been good to play out a reserve when we do go for the festival win, but we're not there yet. So let's roll the dice. We'll choose the croupier. What do we get? Is it a... Alright. This one worked out for us. Get to even things up a little bit. Three. Alright. So we're going to try and set it up so that we win with Lyra Festival next turn. Our line with 7 mana is going to be to play Esmeralda this turn. Give her fleeting next turn. Hathor, Twinkle Twinkle. Oh. 1, 2. We should have kept the other Esmeralda. That's a bit of a bleed, I guess. Alright, we've been maybe a little bit bailed out here. Playing a bit loose with this one, but that's it. It's a learning curve. We pay this one, gain anchored. He'll stay around next turn, so he has fleeting already. We pass turn, get rid of one of our croupiers. And because this line is so light on mana this turn, we go to 7, play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Get rid of the second festival. Just hope everything works out for us. One, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Are we 1 mana short? We may very well be. So we can keep something around. We've got the Martingale, so we don't have to worry about sending something to reserve. Play the Sandman. If one of our guys is asleep, we don't have to worry about small step giant leap out of a Mooner deck, so we'll play this one by the seat of our pants, I suppose. Give us a 5. We played perfectly. 6. Can't actually stop them here, but that's okay. We're not playing to the same thing. Same thing that they are, that is. Okay, we're going to have to get rid of 2 cards from reserve. I think we keep... Get rid of the Sandman. We'll keep the Esmeralda as something to play. They don't have any removal. So instead it becomes a game of fading what they have. This has fleeting, we give this a sleep. We play Martingale and give it anchored in some way. Guess we're going to learn if these 2 stack as well. This is literally the first game I've played with this deck, so we are learning on the fly. Discards, plays Daughter of Yggdrasil, gives it anchored. We don't stress too much about that. Get a 6. 6 plus. We choose 8 because we can. May have been a bit of a soft bleed. We'll see what they do with their last 3 mana. Hopefully the coast is clear. First of all, let's not mess this up. Give it a sleep. And pass turn. There we go. Alright, got away with that one. On to game 2. Alright, here we are, game 2 with our Nevenka and Blotch deck. Let's see how it goes. We're up against a Sigismar and Wingspan deck, which means we probably don't have that much time to try and set up a win. Also, they have removal that is very relevant. guess this is 1, 2, 3, 4 different instances of sleep that we're going to have to navigate. So we're probably going to get rid of a couple of those. Cloth cocoon or a cappella training is the last choice, I think. Either drawing a card or getting rid, of the inevitable monoliths and Ordis carriers that we have coming our way. Let's not worry about the timer there. See what we can get done. Ordis cadets. Oh, I think we'll trade 1 for 1 at the risk of losing much more easily next turn. This recruit is not too much of a problem, but we'll just pass. We've learnt our lesson with activating our hero's ability willy-nilly. Suppose our other option was to play Hathor. Give the cadets fleeting. Get rid of Tanuki, play the croupier. We'll draw our card, it's an extra Sandman, so we've got access to Anchored, Fleeting and Asleep here. So next turn, if we thought they had no removal in hand, we could think about getting a Lyra Festival into play. If we draw it, it's what is it? There's 3 copies in the deck, 1 in 10 chance. Not very likely, but stranger things have happened. Interesting. I'm not too upset about that, I suppose. Because if they want to play a card out, they're going to have to get rid of something. Although that is really good to know that they've got the rare copies of Sticky Note Seal in the deck. We'll see what they do with it. Probably going to get rid of the troopers here. Troopers? Cadets. I'll get rid of the Sandman. Probably not got a lot of turns to try and get anything done, but that's okay. Might not be our game. Probably won't upload this if it's not an interesting one at the very least, if it's just sort of me getting steamrolled. Probably just leave it off the channel. Not much to learn there. Except that our deck is bad against aggro ones. It's an interesting choice. So they've got the common Order Spy in their deck. And the rare Sticky Note Seal. So I suppose they favour that removal quite highly. We'll play the cloth dancer, see what they want to get done there. Because if they play the Orders Trooper to match, that's fine. We can sleight of hand to put Hathor into reserve. Although it is our only source of anchored at the moment. But we're in panic stations a little bit, just trying to slow everything down where we can. Okay, they just want to trade here. Do we reckon they have another one drop in hand? And the real question is, if it's a trooper or not. That's alright. We probably could have rolled the die there. Rolled this one. Give fleeting to the spy. I didn't really want to risk losing the cloth dancer because we've been fabulously unlucky with that. But we are winning on cards. That might slow them down a bit. There's the festival. We have a source of sleep, fleeting, anchored. Got to try and get through this sticky note seal though. Get rid of the cloth cocoon. I think if they so choose to play a permanent at this point, we'll kind of take it. Now we're in an interesting spot here because we can actually get maximum value out of both Hathor and the cloth dancer. But is that what we choose to do? I think we'll play a They only have creatures from hand, so rolling the dice isn't a bad idea. I wonder what his last card in hand is. Put the recruit to sleep, the rallying call, or wake it back up. So I think we'll challenge here anyway. We'll give our cloth dancer anchored. And see what he wants to do. If he wants to play a rallying call, tie it all up. We might play the last card in hand as well. Kind of hoping he does. If he plays the last card, wins in that, I'll probably concede the expedition, so he's not going to play the rallying call. If I knew he had that in hand, I might have been able to do some silly shenanigans with sleight of hand as well. That's a little +1 in that card's favour. If I'd still had the Sandman, that is. Sorry, should clarify. If Sandman was in reserve, I'd probably put it back in there, make him hold on to the rallying call over the sticky note seal. But as it stands, we're okay. If he plays the rallying call, try and buff the Hathor with Nevenka and Blotch's ability. If it goes up one more, he's forced to play. Alright. So we're effectively... Okay, this is interesting. So effectively we can secure the left-hand expedition if we try and buff Hathor, or we can force him to use the rallying call. We'll use it on Nevenka and Blotch. Please don't be a 1. Alright, we good. Get rid of his Jack Frost. He will likely cast Rallying Call on the Frost to move forward. Guess we'll give the recruit fleeting. Doesn't really matter, does it? Alright, it's 1 and 1. We've got more cards in hand. Even if we play out the Lyra Festival. Okay, 7 mana. What can we do with 7 mana? Not enough, but we can set up a win next turn. Play Tanuki. No, how do we get anchored? That's the real question. Alright, Sleight of Hand's probably not likely to see play here. I did have high hopes for that card, held on to it for a little while longer. We'll see what he does. He's got 1 card in hand. So, if everything goes to plan, he will be at the mercy of the top deck next turn for removal for the Lyra Festival, which we can sandbag a little bit too. So, next turn, okay, played from reserve. If you control... Alright, we'll play the Tanuki, get rid of the sticky note seal. Play our Martingale, go ahead on reserve. Oh no, we just win! Oh my god, I've been so busy thinking about how to play out the Lyra Festival and win that way that I have completely forgotten that we can just win on stats. Yeah, we'll give her anchored. God, I don't even care. Okay, so we fell ass backwards into a conventional win there against the Sigismara Wingspan deck. I really wish I hadn't said that I was going to get rid of this if it was going to be a steamroll. Because you know, I should have more faith in my deck to pull through. But cool. GG's. We'll give it to them. Rate the BGA experience. Never again. Moved on past each other. There we go. Alright, on to game 3. I am a fraud. Alright, here we are, game 3 with our Festy deck. Let's see what we're up against. We're playing second against a Kojo and Buddha. This could be the Eat Me Energy Bar Sakurabru thing, or it could be just straight aggro. Let's see what we've got here. Alright, Aloe Vera is a pretty good turn 2. Could play 2 uniques turn 1 and just flex some dollars. Not really, these are pretty cheap uniques, all things considered. Yeah, we'll get rid of the Hatter, because that sort of competes with Aloe Vera. I don't think we can afford to keep a cappella training. Although the Sandman might be away. Go down on cards. We sort of recoup that a little bit with the Aloe Vera though. We'll see what they want to do. Decide from there. Excuse me. We can scroll this down a little bit, fix all that up so you can see the cards in hand a little bit better. Probably too small to read, but I can always hover over them. So, as a quick reminder, our Hathor returns something from hand, from reserve, sort of giving up on some form of card advantage if we play Aloe Vera here, but could get us trading turn 1. It's alright. We'll play the Cloth Dancer out and see what happens. Play Hathor out. Roll a die. Choose Hathor if we get something in the middle. Nope. Never lucky. Still get rid of the Skadi. Pass turn. That's a shame. One in 6 chance there to lose the expedition. Well, we wouldn't have won if we'd got the anchored either. So we had a 1 in 3 chance to not progress forward there. We use Hathor's support ability, put Cloth Dancer back in hand. And play that out on the hero side. Try and take advantage of that buffed green start. Play an Icebound Peak. Do we think they've got a 1-drop in hand? Concerning. Yeah, we'll play the Mage Dancer out, make use of our mana here. See what they want to play. Now, the Icebound Peak is an interesting one because with our Cloth Dancer out, we can give stuff fleeting, which obviously progresses that, but they don't get to play it from reserve. Yeah. That's alright, we'll pass here, go ahead. Sort of where we want to be. We will choose not to give something fleeting. Cloth Cocoon's interesting because if they want to give stuff fleeting, we can get rid of it. Or we can look at more cards with Esmeralda. We're already going to do that with the aloe vera. So I think we'll get rid of Esmeralda here. Play to the short term, or at least keep a card around that we think is going to be useful. Don't get a lot of value out of the aloe vera here. But we'll play the Mage Dancer against their Buddha. See what they want to do. Pathfinder's just a basic creature. Roll the die on the Mage Dancer, see what we get. It is a 6. We do get value out of that cloth cocoon at the very least. Or we could get rid of it. He ties everything up if we get rid of the tracer. He does not get his shade. If we get rid of the Icebound Peak though. Short-term gain, long-term loss. Yeah, that's alright. I think we give up an expedition here. We don't really want to be behind versus a Bravos deck. I think if we had got a boost on the Mage Dancer instead of anchored, we probably would have pressed our advantage here, traded 1 for 1 and stayed ahead. But at least we have Old Mate for next turn. Alrighty. Second Mage Dancer is pretty good for stats, which we do want to contest on. We do get full value out of the Sandman by sleeping something. Although that would force us to play the Cloth Dancer to maximize our mana, or we could just play the other Mage Dancer. This aloe vera has been sitting in hand and it's kind of wigging me out a little bit because this is usually a pretty good card to draw. Do we get rid of it? Give ourselves more options? I think the Sandman's worth more stats here. So we'll play the Cloth Dancer on the companion side. 5 power there. It's looking pretty good considering the one card we can see has 0 power in green. So we'll play that. Arcolano Milk. I think we hold on to the Sandman here. Actually force him to put something into this reserve, into this expedition at least. Pardon me. See what he wants to do. Buff the aloe vera, try and force another card into there. We get what we want. 2 in 3 chance. See what his last card in hand is. He passes. So we even it up. Maybe it would have been good to target the Mage Dancer again and keep the stats on board if we got the 1 in 6 chance, but I'm okay with that. hero ability saving us an expedition, or save us losing an expedition. Not that big a loss. Okay, so Tanuki's cool, because if they want to play things from reserve to get the boosts, they're gonna have to work for it. Sandman also makes them work for it. If they had something in reserve here, I'd probably think about keeping the Tanuki. He'll get a boost, that's pretty cool. Neat little interaction there between the Buddha token. He'll get rid of my aloe vera. Play our croupier and see what he wants to do. Roll a 3, resupply, get a Tanuki. Could consider playing that. Ooh, another Tooth Fairy. Okay, what do we think they have in hand? Play the Sandman. Sleep the Buddha token, force them to play into this reserve if they want to win it. They do get to win it if they have a 2-drop. Or anything that has any power in green, which Bravos cards will. But if it's a 1-drop, we do have the option of targeting the Sandman. Suppose I could have slept the Tooth Fairy, that might have been a better idea. Sorry, no, not slept the Sandman, slept the Tooth Fairy with Sandman, buff Croupier. Nah, they had a helping hand. Alright, nothing to be gained here. We go 1 away, see if we can out aggro the aggro deck. One, two, three, four, five, six, 7. We'll keep both of these cards. A little bit of anti-synergy there, but we do get to move first. We'll see what he wants to do. Oh, he's holding on to both of his cards. Alright, we'll play the Sandman first, because we're basically just trying to win in blue here. We've got 7 power plus 1. I think we play the aloe vera. Don't pay, because we've got 7 mana here. We've got 1 more use for the Martingale. Fire Rabbit. Gains a boost, nothing off it because he's not playing a different Bravos hero. And that should do it for us. You can only play 1 more creature in there. We move forward, we win. Target the Martingale. Rolls a 6. We'll choose a 7 because we can, but it doesn't matter. There we go. Navigated that one pretty well. I think we got a bit lucky. I'm not sure what he could have played to turn that one around, but we did actually just win 2 games out of our 3 wins on board. Alright, maybe this should just be a Lyra aggro deck instead. You know, get rid of the Lyra Festival altogether. But I really want to play it. It seems like a much more fun way to play the game. Alright, there we go. On to the deck tech. Alright, there we are. 3 games done with our Nevenka and Blotch Lyra Festy deck. 3 wins, which I'm really surprised about. Maybe we just ran well or ran into opponents who weren't running too well themselves. I think we got a bit lucky, but let's get on with the review. Um, didn't get a lot of chances to showcase it, but I do like hypothermia. I think the fact that it is a 1 cost out of hand ahead of the Twinkle Twinkle is actually more important than reducing cost out of reserve. Not sure I'm ready to give up on that one just yet, because obviously resupplying into it may be a big deal. Really underwhelmed with sleight of hand. A lot of times it was either held onto for a couple of turns and eventually sent to the mana zone to keep better cards in hand. I suppose that's what you expect with your 1-drops. Everything I expected to perform well did. Martingale is obviously a goated card. Mage Dancer definitely came in handy there a couple of times. I did like Aloe Vera too, just as a way to consistently get anchored onto the field, even if it is a bit expensive. So obviously playing something out of reserve at the very least to give something fleeting, plus Aloe Vera with anchored plus Lyra Festival, is a 9 mana play. So never really got there with the festivals, but I suppose that's what the drawing board's for. Cloth Cocoon came in handy a couple of times, mostly just when they gave their characters fleeting though. Wondering if going down on that is advisable. Didn't really play against anything on camera that played a lot of permanents. Really impressed with Lyra Cloth Dancer, being able to recur that or send it back to hand. It's probably the best card for sleight of hand in the deck. Hathor as well. Really liked having that as an option. Yeah, everything seemed to work a lot smoother than I expected it to. I really thought I would just be falling behind and either floundering or pulling a win out of my tushy. But I am going to go on a little bit about games you didn't see. So I have been playing this deck offline a little bit. So maybe I just got lucky on camera, or maybe I played better because I was explaining, my thought process. Less misplays makes it easier to win games. Who'd have thought? And we did struggle sometimes just drawing the wrong cards. At times, had a few games as well where the resupplies revealed a Lyra Festival, which sort of gives the game away. I do like having that in hand and hidden information as a way to spring it on my opponents. I did have a lot of concern around that sticky note seal played in game 2. Obviously it didn't come back to bite us. We sort of just won on board. Cloth Dancer there doing a lot of work, stopping them from getting that reserve value out of cards. But I am concerned about people holding on to sticky note seals or Keylon bursts or any of the other options, Banishing Gate, and there's that one out of Trial by Frost in Muna that also discards permanents. Surprised I didn't miss the Ouroboros, and that would be a card I might think about playing as a way to draw that permanent removal out of people's hands before wanting to get the Lyra Festival on board. It's just, without it, it's really hard to finesse a situation where you have 4 mana left to play the festival as a gotcha once they're depleted of mana for their removal spells. Hathor is probably the unique I'd look at upgrading after. Not touching a lot of these. Sabotage is important. I suppose I could go up to the rare copy of Tanuki as a way to get extra sabotage out of them. with all of the resupply. But it is unreliable sabotage, so I thought it might not be worth it at the moment. Um, yeah, let us know how you go. I'll probably revisit this one pretty soon. I want to try and showcase some games where I lose. Didn't really expect to walk into 3 wins when playing on the PC. Definitely lost a couple of games with this deck while sitting on the can at work though. So it's not all sunshine and rainbows. I promise you, I'm not just picking games where I win to showcase how good I am. I don't think I'm that good at the game. But 3 wins from 3. Can't be too upset about that one. Alright, thank you for watching. Check back in next time and see what deck it is that we're running. Thanks again. Have a good one.